He humiliated me on the night I thought he'd make me the happiest woman alive. In front of everyone I loved, he got down on one knee and destroyed me. But what he didn't know is that I would make him pay in ways he never imagined. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Stories like these are shared here every day. On my birthday, my boyfriend treated me to a full morning at a spa. Massages, facials, champagne, the works. And that evening, he organized a beautiful dinner with all our friends at a restaurant. Halfway through dinner, he stood up, got down on one knee, and asked me to marry him. Tears poured down my face as I whispered, "Yes, 1,000 times yes." And then he laughed. He jumped up, shouting, "It's a prank." His best friend had been recording everything for his YouTube channel. The restaurant went silent. My friend stared. I ran out crying, humiliated beyond words. When I confronted him later, he didn't even apologize. And just days after, I found out he'd been cheating on me for months. That was the night something inside me broke, and something darker woke up. Because what I did next made him cry like a baby. Kaimani and I had been together for 6 years. 6 years of my life poured into a man I thought was my forever. 6 years of believing I was building something real, a home, a family, a future. I was so wrong. My name is Nala, I'm 27 years old, and this is the story of how my world collapsed one January night, right there on my birthday, in front of everyone I knew. But before that night, let's go back. Kaimani and I met when I was 21 at a friend's party. He was funny, magnetic, that $1,000,000 smile that could have sold toothpaste. We talked for hours about life, dreams, everything. He told me he wanted to be a YouTuber, to make people laugh, to build something of his own. I admired that ambition. I thought I was lucky, a man with passion, drive, purpose. After 3 years, we moved in together. A small but cozy apartment in a trendy corner of Atlanta, right near the Beltline. Rent was high, but we split it, or so I thought. I worked as an account manager for a digital bank, stable, well-paid, disciplined. Kaimani worked in marketing, freelancing while building his YouTube channel with his friend Javon. His income came in waves, some months good, most months barely enough. And every time he fell short, I filled the gap. Rent, dinners, date nights, even his computer gear, I paid for it all. But I didn't mind. I truly didn't. Because I thought I was investing in our future. I thought one day, when his channel took off, we'd celebrate together. But what I didn't know was that the only thing I was really funding was my own heartbreak. My birthday was on a Friday. I had the day off, expecting something small, romantic, maybe dinner, maybe a surprise. But that morning he woke me up with breakfast in bed and that sly little grin. "Good morning, birthday girl," he said. "Get ready for the best day of your life." My heart raced. He'd been distant lately, but maybe this was it. Maybe this was him proving me wrong. Maybe tonight, he'd finally propose. He sent me to a spa, full treatment, all paid for by him. Massage, facial, nails. I couldn't believe he remembered. Months ago, during a random movie night, I joked that if he ever proposed, my nails better be done. And now they were soft pink, perfect French manicure. Every glance at them made my heart beat faster. When I got home, he was dressed up, cologne in the air, charm turned all the way up. "We're going to dinner with the crew," he said. "Wear that blue dress you love." The blue dress. The one he said made me look unforgettable. I got ready for hours, hair, makeup, heels, everything just right. I looked in the mirror and felt radiant. Tonight was going to change my life. The restaurant was warm, golden alive, the same Italian place where we'd had our first date. Friends filled the table. Laughter, wine, celebration. But I barely touched my food. My heart was too full of hope. Then, after dessert, Kaimani stood up. The room hushed. Even the waiters paused. "Nala," he began, steady voice, eyes locked on mine. "We've been together for 6 incredible years." Tears welled up. It was happening. "You're my best friend, my partner, the one who's always stood by me." He got down on one knee. The entire restaurant was watching. I felt every heartbeat in my chest pounding like it would explode. "Oh my God," someone whispered behind me. Kaimani, I love you more than anything in this world, he said, his eyes locked on mine. And I want to spend the rest of my life with you. He reached into his pocket. I couldn't breathe. My chest was tight, my hands trembling. This was it. Finally. The moment I had been dreaming of. Will you marry me? Yes. I shouted before even seeing the ring. Tears blurred my vision. Yes. 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 And then everything shattered. Kaimani jumped up, arms thrown in the air, screaming at the top of his lungs. It's a prank. The silence that followed was deafening. I blinked, confused, tears still streaming. What? I managed to whisper. It's a prank, baby. Relax. He laughed, a cruel, mocking laugh. Jevin, did you get it all? I turned to see Jevin grinning at me, phone in hand, recording every second. I got everything, bro. This is going to be epic for the channel. The room was frozen. Friends looked shocked, some uncomfortable. The girls from work stared at me with pity. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. My brain refused to process the humiliation. Nala, you should have seen your face, Kaimani said, still laughing, casually sitting back like nothing had happened. Something inside me broke into a million pieces. I bolted from the chair, almost falling in my rush. Purse in hand, I ran out without a word. Kamani called after me, but I didn't stop. The tears came in waves, not gentle, romantic tears, but violent, soul-shaking sobs. Hands trembling, I called an Uber, barely able to type the address. Kamani ran after me. Nala, wait. It's just a joke. A joke. I managed between sobs. You think humiliating me in front of everyone I love is a joke? You're overreacting, he said, voice smug. I gave you a spa day. I organized the dinner. I did everything right. You humiliated me. I screamed, voice raw. I don't care who saw. You pretended to propose knowing how important it was to me, all for a stupid prank for your friend's channel. If you post that video, my voice dropped low, sharp, venomous. I swear, Kaimani, I will make you regret it. I'm not joking. The Uber arrived. I slammed the door in his face and sobbed all the way home. The driver quietly turned up the music, giving me space to cry, and I gave him 5 stars. At the apartment, I locked the door and collapsed onto the bed. Tears blurred my vision, my makeup ruined, my heart broken. I cried until exhaustion took me, until sleep swallowed me in the darkness. In the middle of the night, I woke to the sound of him in the apartment, stumbling, drunk. Part of me wanted to scream, demand answers, make him apologize. But I stayed in the dark, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in 6 years, I asked myself, do I really know this man? The answer hit me like a punch. I had ignored the signs, the controlling behavior, the criticism disguised as concern, the way he decided what we watched, where we ate, who we saw. He never apologized. Never. Not even when he was clearly wrong. And all this time, I'd let him use my money, thinking one day it would be ours. But he didn't love me. Not truly. He loved what I did for him. The rent I covered, the bills I paid, the life I provided. Loving me? Respecting me? Valuing me? Never. The following days were hell. He acted as if nothing had happened, playing games, editing videos, leaving me locked in the bedroom. 3 days later, he finally came to talk. Leaning against the doorframe, drunk and casual. No, we need to talk. So talk, I said, staring at nothing. Come on, you're not going to be mad at me forever over this nonsense, are you? This nonsense. I repeated, disbelief choking me. You humiliated me. You faked something sacred to me just for a stupid video. He turned red, defensive. I thought you did it out of kindness. I cut him off. Kaimani, I pay half this apartment. I cover you when you can't. I loan you money for your gear. I pay when we go out because you're broke. And you call that kindness? It's not about the money, I shouted. It's about respect. About being treated like a human being, not like a joke for your ridiculous channel. Our channel isn't ridiculous. Get out, Kamani. He left, slamming the door. I heard him curse in the living room, but I didn't care. That night, I called my best friend Ayana, the one who couldn't make it to my birthday. I told her everything. Nala, what a son of a, she said, furious. I always thought Kamani was a bit of a scrub, but this crossed every line. I don't know what to do, Ayana, I admitted. We've been together 6 years. We live together. Our lives are completely intertwined. Then why stay with a man who disrespects you? Who humiliates you publicly just because you've been together for a long time? She was right. I knew she was. I think, I'm going to leave him, I whispered, and just saying it out loud made it feel real. Ayana reminded me of all the times I had ignored the red flags, all the criticism, control, manipulation, the countless moments I'd shoved aside to avoid conflict. By the end of the call, the decision was made. I was leaving Kamani, leaving that apartment, leaving that toxic relationship, and reclaiming my life. The next day, his audacity stunned me. I was in the bedroom. He was in the living room. And he sent a text. I'm going to sleep at Jevons this weekend. Take some time alone to calm down and realize how unfair you're being to me. I read it over and over. Unfair. After everything. After humiliating me publicly. After refusing to apologize. After pretending this was all some joke. My hands shook with rage as I typed my reply, each word loaded with every ounce of fury I felt. Unfair? You humiliated me in front of everyone. You pretended to propose just for a stupid prank. You refused to apologize. And I'm the one being unfair? You aren't the victim, Kamani. You aren't welcome in this house anymore. Don't come back. His reply came almost instantly. Seriously? You're going to kick me out of my own house? Seriously? After 6 years of betrayal, manipulation, and humiliation, I didn't reply. I turned off my phone, threw it on the bed, and let the rage simmer. 15 minutes later, I heard the front door. I peeked out the window. Kamani was throwing a duffel bag into the trunk of his car. He drove off. I exhaled slowly. That was it. It was over. I called my mom, telling her everything. She and my dad were furious. That little boy, my mom said, her voice sharp. I've always thought something was off about him. But you weren't an idiot, Nala. You were kind, loving, everything a partner should be. He never deserved you. Her words felt like a lifeline. I had a plan, an escape route. On Monday, I called work and asked for a few days off. My boss, who had been at that disastrous dinner, was supportive. Take all the time you need, Nala. Everyone at the office is on your side. What he did was cruel. I spent the day packing, clothes, essentials, my laptop, important documents. I left the furniture for later. First, I needed out. Kamani hadn't come home. No calls. No messages. Nothing. And somehow, that hurt even more. 6 years together and suddenly he was gone. He couldn't even be bothered to fight for me, to explain himself, to make the slightest effort. I tried to send a text, letting him know I was moving out, that he could have the apartment if he wanted it. The message didn't deliver. I called. Straight to voicemail. The son of a man had blocked me. As if I were the villain. As if I had done something wrong. I messaged Jevon. Hey, just letting you know you won't have to lend your couch to Kamani anymore. I'm moving out so he can have the apartment. His reply came immediately. He's not here with me, Nala, but I'll text him. Not there? My stomach dropped. If he wasn't with Jevon, where was he? I reached out to mutual friends, coworkers, anyone who might know. Nobody had seen him. Nobody knew. Tuesday afternoon, the truth came in a way I never expected. A text from an unknown number. Hi Nala, it's Darius. I work with Kamani at the ad agency. Sorry to butt in, but I heard you're looking for him. Darius had always been polite, but this message made my stomach churn. Hi Darius. Do you know where he is? Look, I don't know the full situation, but I think Kamani is staying at Soraya's place. Soraya. My heart dropped. One of the younger analysts at his agency. Sweet, outgoing, full of energy. Someone I'd liked once, before I realized how blind I had been. Nala, I didn't want to be the one to tell you, but they seem close. Way more than just friends. Every word was a knife twisting in my chest. Months. Months of betrayal. I called Ayana immediately. A coworker just texted me. I said, my voice trembling. Kamani, he's with Soraya. They arrive and leave work together. They seem intimate. She snapped. That son of a Nia, I'm so sorry. I hung up, stunned. It wasn't just the prank. It wasn't just public humiliation. It was betrayal. All the distant nights. All the secretive messages. All the times he was busy.
It all made sense now. He didn't care about me.
I was content. Entertainment. A source of money. A pawn for his pathetic YouTube channel. And then my phone rang. Kamani. I hesitated, then answered. Voice icy. What do you want, Kamani? The apartment, Nala. We need to talk. Of course. Not about love, not about betrayal, not about the humiliation. Money. Always money. How am I supposed to pay for it alone? The rent's too high. You can't just leave. My parents will help me, I said cold. Tomorrow, I'm calling the landlord to break the lease. You can keep your furniture, your TV, your PlayStation. I just want you out of my life. He paused. Long silence. Then, Soraya? I let out a bitter laugh, void of humor.
Yes, Soraya.
I know everything. Your apartment visits, your rides together, your cheating. Months of it. Done. No. Soraya's just a friend, he stammered. Stop lying, Kamani. Everyone has seen you leaving her condo at 7 in the morning. We are done. He begged, pleaded, tried to manipulate me. I love you. We can fix this. You never loved me, I said, cutting him off. Goodbye, Kamani. He called again, and again, and again. I ignored it all, blocked his number, blocked him everywhere. Every channel, every method. He tried to reach me, created fake profiles, new emails, desperate messages. I ignored it all. He didn't deserve another second of my life. Wednesday, my parents arrived with a moving truck. Where is he? My dad demanded, fury in his voice. Not here, I said. And he's not coming back. Better for him, my dad muttered, his tone sharp, controlled. Because he knew, if Kamani were here, I might not have controlled myself. For the first time, I felt a flicker of freedom, relief, empowerment, and a plan was forming. The following weeks were a whirlwind. The adrenaline of finally taking control of my life, of finally standing up to Kamani, kept me going. My dad filed the lawsuit. Kamani and Jevin were officially served on Thursday. Kamani tried calling me. He flooded my phone with messages, begging, pleading, threatening, even trying to twist the story, trying to make me feel guilty. But I ignored it all. Every beep, every notification, felt like a victory. I had the power now. Ayana became my anchor. She checked in constantly, helping me block every possible channel he could use to contact me. And I blocked him everywhere else too, email, social media, phone numbers.
Gone.
Out of my life. The day Kamani and Jevin got the legal papers, I didn't gloat, but I smiled quietly. They could try to fight it, but the evidence was clear. Public humiliation. Intentional emotional distress. Recorded without permission. Every word, every image, meticulously documented. Justice wasn't instant, but it was happening. Every morning, I woke up in my childhood bedroom, breathing freely again. No manipulation. No betrayal. No humiliation. And slowly, that weight I'd carried for 6 years, the weight of his lies, his control, his cruelty, began to lift. I started rebuilding. My apartment was mine again, rented on my own, bills in my name. No freeloading, no toxic control. I spent time reconnecting with friends I had neglected, laughing without fear of judgment or cruelty. I focused on my career, my passions, and most importantly, my self-respect. And every time I remembered Kamani, his lies, his betrayal, his public humiliation, I remembered the moment in the apartment. The fake pregnancy, the tears he shed, the raw panic in his eyes. That bitter, perfect revenge reminded me of my power, that I could protect myself. that I was no longer a victim. The sobs in the hallway as I walked out that day weren't mine, they were his. And as Ayana held me tight in the elevator, I let my own tears fall. Not from sadness, but from relief. Relief for what I had left behind. Relief for the life I was finally reclaiming. I was free. The lawsuit? I ignored all the calls, the texts, the pleas.
My dad had the evidence.
The case moved quickly. The video, witnesses, Kamani's mocking texts, it was all there. Their lawyer tried to claim it was just a prank. But my dad had the truth, the psychological damage, the therapy, the humiliation. Their case crumbled. We won. The settlement? $50,000 each. Enough for a down payment on a condo that was mine and mine alone. But the money wasn't the point. The best part was watching the social fallout. The video Javon had posted? Viral, but not the way they expected. Furious, brutal comments flooded in. This isn't funny. This is cruel. Hope she left him. Trash. Their channel hemorrhaged subscribers. Kamani lost gigs. Javon deleted the video, but it was too late. Soraya, the woman Kamani had been seeing, escaped unscathed. She told a friend later, she was relieved she wasn't tangled in the disaster. Karma, I realized, was patient, but it always arrived. Meanwhile, I rebuilt. Therapy helped me see the patterns I had tolerated, understand my worth, and reclaim my life. I got promoted at work, bought my condo, decorated it my way. No one to control me, no one to belittle me. And then came Khalil, a kind, respectful man with stability, integrity, and genuine affection. 10 months in, my life was quiet, secure, happy, and real. One Friday night in my condo, cooking for the two of us, Ayana called. Turn on the news. I did, and there it was, Kamani and Javon's mugshots.
Arrested.
Their latest prank had sent a woman to the hospital. Charges: aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, possible prison time, 3 years. I smiled. Not happy, not gloating, but satisfied.
Justice.
Months passed. Trials happened. Convictions followed. 2.5 years for each, hefty fines, restraining orders. The world saw them as they truly were, cruel, careless, dangerous. And I was free. Life went on. Promotions, travels, friendships restored, and love that didn't hurt.
Khalil.
Steady. Loyal.
Kind.
Everything Kamani never was. 2 years later, Friday night ritual, pasta, candles, quiet. Khalil appeared at the door with flowers. And then he knelt. Nala, I love you. I want to spend my life making you happy. Will you marry me?
Tears. Joy.
Relief. Yes, I whispered, over and over, as he slipped the ring onto my finger. The love I always deserved. Finally here, finally real. Looking back, the old Nala, the one who accepted crumbs, who made herself small, who tolerated lies, died the night of that cruel prank. In her place, stronger, wiser, and whole, I was born. Kamani gave me the gift of freedom without knowing it, and I gave him exactly what he deserved: consequences. Now, engaged to a man who treats me right, in a home that is mine, with a life rebuilt from the ashes, I know this. When masks fall, when truth is revealed, it's up to us what we do with it. I chose freedom. I chose myself. And it was the best decision of my life. This is where my story ends. No crumbs. No compromises. Just strength, justice, and the life I was always meant to live. Chose their own happiness. If this story touched you, leave a like. It really helps the channel reach others who need to hear that they deserve more. Subscribe to the channel for real stories of karmic revenge, empowerment, and endings you'll never forget, released every week. And if you know someone who needs this story, share it. Sometimes another person's journey is the push someone needs to wake up and reclaim their life. Remember, when the masks fall, we finally see who people truly are. Did this story resonate with you? I'd love to know. Which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If you enjoyed this story and want to support me, you can send a super thanks. It helps me keep bringing more life-changing stories. Thank you so much for your support. I can't wait to read your comments. On the screen now, you'll see 2 more incredible life stories I highly recommend. There's so much more waiting for you on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next story. With love and respect.